We welcome you to Greenville, North Carolina. It's the 25th all-time meeting between the Old Dominion Monarchs, the favorites in the Sun Belt East Division, and the East Carolina Pirates coming off their first win of the season and their first goal as we gear up for a beautiful Sunday night in Greenville, North Carolina. We welcome you inside the broadcast booth. I'm Evan Budjevich, leading you tonight for a unique matchup of Scottish-born head coaches Angie Hine in Old Dominion, Gary Higgins coming off his first career win here in Greenville for East Carolina. This is a battle every year. Teams split the regular season matchups in 21, and the lone matchup in 22 could come down to who scores first. Two defensive-oriented teams. Both head coaches telling us this week this is a defensive battle, very physical matchup between Old Dominion and East Carolina. That being said, we'll focus on the key scorers for these two squads. Who's going to make the difference and put ahead the game winner? For Old Dominion, it's the senior forward and striker, Carla Morich, who last year led Old Dominion in total assists with 5. She's yet to score this year, and that's been the story for Old Dominion. 0 goals in 2022. 2 early losses, but Morich, the preseason all-conference forward, she could be a factor with 13 career assists. Counters for East Carolina with the first goal of the season, senior midfielder Grace Doran, and she stepped up on Thursday night. This 10th minute game winner over the High Point Panthers put ECU out in front, and that's all the Pirates would need. A 2-0 victory on the assist right there from Schnell, and Doran gets the job done. The celebrations are always fun for the veterans as you see Doran in her redshirt senior year having a couple of smiles. That was her 6th career goal for the Pirates, and we'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, starting lineups and get you all set for ECU and Old Dominion right here on ESPN+. Beautiful night for soccer here at Johnson Stadium. 90 degrees and two clubs ready to get this party started. Old Dominion and East Carolina. We told you there's some history between these two. Well, just recently, a home-and-home matchup in 21, and here we go for the 25th all-time meeting. Old Dominion's had recent success, and Angie Hine, the head coach for the Monarchs, reminded us this week they've played each other, these two programs, every year in the last 5. So a lot of history between the two. And the lone win for East Carolina in that series. They're fired up. It was a 1-0 victory at home. Brooke Brzezinski with the game winner in the 11th minute. Be curious which team can score first. Neither has had a lot of offensive success this year. And in fact, 2 combined goals between the two teams. The good news, someone's going to have to score tonight in 90 minutes. It's a party here in Greenville. And 2 clubs that want to get on their winning ways. Old Dominion, the preseason favorites in the Sun Belt East Division. First year in the Sun Belt for ODU. The Monarchs ran through the Conference USA tournament. Eventual champions lost to Duke in the postseason. East Carolina, new head coaching regime under Gary Higgins, and a club that just entertained its first victory on Thursday. That was a 2-0 defeat of the Evil Empire. High Point, up in High Point, North Carolina, to the Big South. See the Monarchs there, led by a couple of captains right in the middle of the pitch, including number 5 Emma Terafenko on this defense for Old Dominion. And last year the Monarchs were really good at limiting opponents. Only 10 goals allowed in 2021. Here's our lead officiating crew tonight, gearing us up for opening kick. It's always neat to see how much officials play a factor. Bill Dittmar and his crew get you all set. And away we go from Johnson Stadium. 25th all-time meeting, Old Dominion and East Carolina. Already early pressure on the ball and a quick turnover for the Pirates. We told you Old Dominion's yet to score a goal, and last year it was scoring by committee. 25 total goals. Moritz led the squad. She had 5 herself. And while the squad returns 7 starters from last year's team, Angie Hine mentioned it's a group that has players in multiple new positions, not the same experience. We'll see if that plays a factor here in match 3 of the season for ODU. East Carolina with its 3-4-3 alignment. Old Dominion 4 defensive backs. And they have been stout, top 25 in the country in goals against average the last 2 years. And that's under Angie Hine's watch in her 9th season leading this program. Megan Watts with some open space. She sends it outside to Christuk. And that's chipped out of play. Old Dominion Keys have to finish their chances in the box. Well, sure is that not evident given some of the scoring woes early in 2022. You have to put a ball in the back of the net in 2 matches. And then for East Carolina, definitely want to find ways to continue what they did on Thursday, scoring first against High Point, but being tested early. Here's Carla Moritz pressuring this back line, and English has to play it out of her box. That's risky business. 33rd career start for the 3-year goalkeeper for ECU. Two clubs that split home and homes last year. 1-0 win here for East Carolina, and a 2-1 win for Old Dominion with Emma Gervais, the game winner in overtime, the 96th minute. Both teams changing possession early in the first few minutes. Angie Hine telling us this week her club has not played to its offensive potential. A lot of chances on target, but yet to convert a first goal. Maybe a chance here for Watts, who gets in the box, and that's deflected. Now Christuk sends it back. Here's a shot that rolls wide. And a look from 30 yards out. Maeve English pitched her 6th career shutout on Thursday night. 12 wins in her tenure between the pipes. And talking to Gary Higgins this week about Maeve English, when you're a new head coach and you don't know what you have, you learn quickly. And he said, Maeve English has impressed us from day one. She's worked very well with assistant coach Evan Gaffney, who has professional goalkeeping experience playing in Europe, and that has done wonders for her in year 3. This could be a match where goals will be hard to come by. 2 defensive-minded teams. And our lead referee now with the first whistle of the match. There's Bill Dittmar, continuing play for the Pirates on the open end. Schlegel looks to attack. Ooh, and a body check there from Terefenko. I know the college football season just began this week, but that was a nice little hit in the box. As you see Emma Terefenko here, the senior out of Center Valley, Pennsylvania. All clean, played the ball first. Looking to turn in the box. Here's a shot. And no one on target there to send it forward. These were the persistent chances that High Point surrendered on Thursday night. East Carolina outshot the Panthers 15-1 and double-digit shots on target. You see McDougal here to throw it, and that offense scored 2 goals and really had all the opportunities on Thursday night. This will float out, and a goal kick for Old Dominion. Monarchs suffered another 1-0 loss. That was at William & Mary on Thursday. Went back to Norfolk and then continued at Auburn, at William & Mary, an NCAA tournament team in the Auburn Tigers from last year. Well, change of possession here early. Old Dominion, a club that has been so defensive-minded, top 10 in the country in fewest goals allowed. Florida State held the national mark last year. ODU was just 3 goals behind them. Team that lost 1-0 to Duke in the first round of the tournament. And you've seen what the Blue Devils can do. Number 3 national team this week in the national polls. Right now, UNC and FSU, it's ACC heavy in the top 3. As Grace Doran looks to follow up her goal-scoring effort, sending it wide. The chip in, wants a target, and there's the first effort by the goalkeeper, Aaron Jones. Jones in support of Coach Angie Hind. Not only in a 9-year resume, but has brought consistency to this program, built Old Dominion from the ground up, and has had 5 straight winning seasons, including the NCAA tournament run last year. Angie called it extremely rewarding to make the jump from the Conference USA to the Sun Belt and to really build this program in that process. 27 wins over the last 3 years, so clearly can get the job done. And we're asking this week, well, the wins are one thing, but when the team GPA is 3.5 and ODU in the last 3 years has been in the top 5 in the country in APR and GPA, which is academic performance, that does say a thing or two as well. It's not just showing up and playing well, it's having success in the classroom. East Carolina content with playing it on this back line. That's that high pressure with the 3 forward lineup that Angie Hind implores. This ball headed forward by Carson Parker, and it's knocked down. Terefenko, 3-year starter defensively. Started now in 25 matches. She's been critical to the back line. As that goes out for a East Carolina throw. There's Coach Gary Higgins, always willing to get out of his porch to track down the ball. Earned his first career win in a Pirate uniform on Thursday. He's the former head coach at Lenoir-Rhyne, just across the state. And Gary, who was celebrating with his 2 daughters and his wife over the week, he said, heck, we just want to see a ball get in the back of the net. Got 2 goals on Thursday, had not scored in their first 2. Was very pleased with their efforts to finish off High Point in a convincing win. That was very one-sided from the start. We noted the Grace Doran goal early. That really made the difference in the 10th minute. And now Old Dominion with numbers. Here's Edgay Torkaloo. Playing it soft. Christoff looks for goal. And Maeve English there to body it up. Maeve had 6 saves in her home debut against Duke. That was impressive. Top 5 team. And she's in line for possible all-AAC performance this year in the American. Her team would love to surpass their preseason ranks in the bottom 3rd, but English part of the preseason all-conference and clearly has potential. Good one-touch passing here from the Monarchs as Watts plays it back to Torkaloo. And Danae Harper in the midst of pressure. East Carolina willing to settle 10 players back here early. You see Christoph there wanted the one touch, couldn't find her. And now Doran plays it forward on the counter. Schlegel keeps it in, nearing the 18. Schlegel, nice touch forward, but dispossessed. There's Kennett to cut it off. And a beautiful through ball, just did not sneak in. Okay. 10 minutes gone by in this first half. Quality chances for Old Dominion early. East Carolina's not had much of the possession here on its home turf. A 90-degree day. This beautiful stretch of grass is held in quite nicely. As the freshman Jasmine Ferguson sends it to this near line. And a whistle and foul here on Old Dominion's Jenna Davelier. Maeve English very comfortable outside her box, working extensively with this coaching staff. Evan Gaffney out of Dublin, Ireland, making her very comfortable playing outside the box. That was his strength, the professional ranks, playing for the Irish national team in multiple leagues, including a stint in the EPL for a couple of years. I wonder how conditioning plays a factor on a hot night like this. 88 degrees and sticky. That's the North Carolina staple this time of the year, as that one's sent out. The good news is these players are used to these temperatures. Both teams have played early afternoon matches this year. And I even asked Gary Higgins, I said, how do you prepare for a 5 o'clock match? Do you extend training? Do you have practices at this hour? And he said, well, on one hand, you want to keep your players fresh. On the other, you need to prepare them for these humid, sticky nights. It's a tough dynamic as a goal kick is awarded. Angie Hines, she had the same experience. Old Dominion's played a couple of 6 o'clock starts, so somewhat similar. I just can't wait for the weather to cool off a little bit, especially for my grass. Trying to raise some new flowers in the backyard. It's getting so hot I can't get any fertilizer to stick. Nothing a good amount of water couldn't fix, as this field is prepared exquisitely tonight. Nice header played forward by the Monarchs as Watts looks to turn. She finds Torslew, who is then immediately dispossessed. Great footwork by Macy McDougall, the midfielder. Contested touch and forced to play it back as Carla Morich. We noted her assist ability, 13 career dimes for the senior striker. And yet this Old Dominion team that won its conference tournament at CUSA has yet to score a goal here in 22. Contested header played forward there to Abby Soa. Oh, that's a beautiful touch. Looks like a no foul there. Possession for Torslew. The Monarchs with those 25 goals last year. 5 different players had at least 4. It was a balanced scoring effort for Angie Hines' club. Now they'll be forced to play on the back line defensively as Watts sends it wide. Schlegel with space. It's a nice move to cut inside. Schlegel sees goal and lets it go. Right into the midst of Aaron Jones, the transfer from Liberty. Redshirt junior has earned her way into this starting role. Casey Perry, the former all-conference keeper, has been battling some injuries in the spring, not back to full strength. So the open competition in the fall set the stage for Jones, who in 2 starts, 3 saves, just 2 goals allowed. And Casey Perry was fantastic last year, 2nd in the country in goals against average behind Elena Lamacchia of Milwaukee. And that Milwaukee program had dominated its conference. 5 straight titles for Milwaukee. Its head coach now moving over to Indiana this offseason. That's the goal for a lot of these mid-major programs. Dominate at your level and maybe open some doors to the next opportunity. Contested touch here for Macy McDougal, the captain who plays it near side. Parker wants to turn, and East Carolina wins possession. Here's Abbott in open space. Numbers to her right. Abbott goes off the left foot and into the mask of Aaron Jones. Abbott able to get to her left in space, but puts it right on frame for Jones, who's had a great preseason in the eyes of Angie Hind. She earned that spot, not just due to some injuries to Casey Perry, the all-conference keeper. She was preseason All-Sun Belt was Perry, but has yet to appear this year, not 100% healthy, and insert Aaron Jones into that role. The Monarchs have had a lot of the chances so far. Oh, there's a nice dispossession. Schnell steps up, looking for Parker, and then taken back. Torkaloo gets inside. And now a whistle on the Pirates. 15 minutes into this first half. Who will get possession inside the 18? Seen a couple of long-distance shots from both teams. And a goal kick is awarded. There's a feeling out process, talking to Angie Hind about how do you find that first goal. 2 matches plus now off the board. And she had a neat quote. It was sort of the hammer and nail effect. If you keep pounding the hammer into the board, it will lead to something. You just can't lose focus or lose hope. Gary Higgins had that same challenge his first 2 matches. No goals for the Pirates, but that changed quickly with 2 more on Thursday. And those 2 goals were vital. Defeating a reigning conference champion in High Point. That can be the same here for Old Dominion. And Gary Higgins told us this week, I've never in my coaching career had such a stout run with NCAA tournament teams littered in the first 4 games. 4 national qualifiers from last year in the first 4 for the Pirates. Had the pleasure of working a few of the ECU volleyball matches this week, and that coaching staff told us, well, the schedule is medium to medium rare. Well, this schedule has been amped up to filet mignon. 4 tournament teams. Old Dominion has faced Auburn already, NCAA tournament squad. And look at this mess in the middle here for possession. So McDougal keeps possession. First main long form passing here for the Pirates. They have played on the defensive side of midfield. When these teams met last year, it was the exact opposite. The matchup here in Greenville, East Carolina scored in the 11th minute and pulled out a victory. Old Dominion on its home turf scored a goal early in the 4th minute. And then went to overtime 1-1 before Emma Gervais delivered the game winner. It's one of the key replacements for this Old Dominion roster. Emily Roberts, the star defender, Allie Brimmer, and also Gervais. So 3 main starters graduated from last year. Now an opportunity for the Monarchs just outside the 18 and deflected by the true freshman. There's Jasmine Ferguson, who has marveled in her debut. Really catching the eye of Gary Higgins, number 16 in the home white. Chris Dook plays it back. Consistent possession here for Old Dominion, searching for this ball forward for Morich. A nice job shielding it off there for McDougal, setting up the goal kick. We have our first substitution of this matchup tonight.
Now entering the pitch for the Pirates.
And there is Sierra Lowry, the redshirt sophomore out of Wake Forest, North Carolina. She's battled injuries 2 of the last 3 years. See that left ankle brace there for Lowry.
Number 6, Isabella Gutierrez.
And the first minutes of the young season for Isabella Gutierrez, true freshman from Guadalajara, Mexico. It's unique when you compare these two rosters. Distinctly different. Old Dominion, 5 different countries outside the U.S. Denmark, Germany, Turkey, Ukraine, and Poland. For East Carolina, just 1 player outside the U.S. 50 states, and that's Miss Gutierrez who checks in. One thing on the mind of Coach Gary Higgins, of course, his first year comes by way of Lenore Ryan. He wants to integrate this roster with some diverse European talent in the next 2 to 3 years. But as you well know, in the soccer world, recruit offerings start coming at the end of the freshman into the early sophomore season. So it may take a minute for both these teams to amp up rosters. Nice avenue here for Schlegel. Gets inside the box. Wants it. Whoa, she gets it. A penalty kick for East Carolina. And now a goal scoring opportunity 20 minutes in. So Schlegel gets the drive in and is tripped up by Terefenko. Always a difficult call for Bill Dittmar. And the penalty kick upcoming for Abby Soa. Leaning on
Number 8, Abby Soa,
the second-year player. What a moment here, 20 minutes in. Okay, Soa looks to strike. Here is the penalty kick. And brilliance. Awarded on the trip in the box for Schlegel as Soa converts for the 1-0 East Carolina lead. Her first ever opportunity in college with the penalty kick, and boy does she convert. First career goal for Abby Soa. And the Southington, Connecticut product with her initial celebration. You see the exultation from her teammates. The lid lifter, if you will. Both these offenses had struggled to score early in the campaigns. That's a 20th minute penalty kick for Abby Soa. And there's a costly foul in the box for Terefenko. And now Old Dominion looks to counter. That's played forward. Good possession held on by Turkoglu as Christok sends it back. Here's Harper. Harper's got a strong boot. Sends it into the 18. Second chance. Moritz knocked down. Still a loose possession. That'll be key. You see 9 women back for East Carolina trying to ill afford the equalizer just minutes after the penalty kick. Couple of touches back and through. An Old Dominion team that had a ton of possession in the first 10 minutes. And a throw-in awarded to the Pirates. Keep in mind, Old Dominion allowed just 10 goals in an entire season in 2022. One of the best defensive teams in the country. In terms of goals against average, 0.51, and a foul there from Edge Turkoglu. Edi Turkoglu, one of the many international products out of Istanbul. Here's a service in over Schlegel's head, headed down, but not on target there from Sydney Shell. So the chances have shifted since the very first goal. Abby Soa in the 20th minute. That's been the difference. Talking with Angie Hind of Old Dominion this week. How do you afford to play from behind? They've done it in all 3 matches. And she noted the championship pedigree of this team. Reigning CUSA champs, now in their first year in the Sun Belt for Old Dominion. Look at this ball serviced in, but right towards the mitts of Erin Jones. She had 3 saves in her collegiate debut. Redshirted at Liberty in the previous season. Goes across the state to Old Dominion and earns the job over Casey Perry, the reigning Sun Belt Keeper of the Week. Partly due to injury, partly due to her impressive play in the fall season, and she's played every minute. Nice through ball. That'll be offside as the sneaky Sydney Schnell tried to earn a second. So after 180 minutes minus a goal, the last 110 have been very fruitful for East Carolina. 3 goals, 2 on Thursday, 1 more here tonight. So near the 20-minute mark of this first half.
Your attention please, fans, your attention please. Due to today's high heat index, the teams will be taking a quick water break.
So we'll take a quick water intermission break and come back for the final 21 minutes of this first half. 1-0 East Carolina here at our water intermission break. And welcome back. Head referee deciding to continue play, and now we have a foul on East Carolina. That's Gutierrez called for the trip. And Catherine Holbrook not very pleased either with that call. Good crowd on hand at Johnson Soccer Stadium. Early home schedule for East Carolina. Duke, High Point, Old Dominion. 3 tournament teams in the first 2 weeks. You see Bill breaking up this discussion, laying back the 10 yards of distance. And let's see who will attempt this for OD. There's a lot of players on the ball here. Leaning on Yulia Krystuk, 3 goals, 2 assists in her young career. The junior out of Ukraine. Krystuk sends it low. And no deflection. It comes back out to Yulia, who chips it high into the 18. And won by the freshman Ferguson. Nice dispossession there from the Pirates. Abbott took it away. Abbott has been excellent in her minutes, has earned that starting role this year at the attacking midfield role. This is sent wide to Schlegel. Schlegel, who earned the penalty kick a moment ago, sends it outside of a target. And a goal kick for Old Dominion. Okay. That being said, we'll now take our water intermission here in the first half. Under 20 to go. So this time we're being serious. When we come back, we'll have the rest of the first half here on ESPN+. Old Dominion and East Carolina in a 1-0 difference following this quick water intermission. Welcome back to Greenville, North Carolina, following our water intermission. 20 minutes to go in this first half. A 1-0 lead for the Pirates on the penalty kick goal by Abby Soa, her first career strike. Let's lay out how these teams got to this point from 2021. We told you Old Dominion, the reigning Conference USA champions, and Angie Hines done a great job rebuilding this club. She was the CUSA Coach of the Year for a 13-win Monarch team, top 50 RPI, including 5 wins over tournament teams with a CUSA title victory over Southern Miss 1-0. East Carolina, meanwhile, climbing its way up the AAC rankings. And we've seen so far this year a tough record against nationally ranked teams, Duke and South Carolina, but they showed great promise on Thursday. And we asked Gary Higgins this week, well, how do you celebrate that first goal of the year? He said, I'm going to jump in the air and hug my assistants. And clearly they found the offense since. 3 goals in the last 2 matches. And with students back on campus, excellent attendance tonight. Gearing up for one of the biggest weeks, I would say, in East Carolina athletics, with the start of volleyball, soccer, and then the big football game next Saturday against nationally ranked NC State. What a beautiful night at Johnson Soccer Stadium. I want to give a shout out to our ESPN Plus production crew. Games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They're bringing their best. All the sights and sounds here from Greenville. Evan Budrovich here guiding you through this soccer matchup. Abby Soa with the 20th minute penalty kick. That's been the difference. Now a long ball searching for Schnell. That overshoots her. It's been an active first half for Aaron Jones. 2 saves. And now this will stay onside for Schnell, who can't get to a good clearance by Kennett, the first-year starting defender. He's passing here to Brzezinski, who's dispossessed. And Old Dominion committing massive numbers back on the defensive line. Kennett has combined with Danae Harper a couple of times. There's Aiken with the throw. The quality touches of Sydney Schnell. It's been fun to watch, and Gary Higgins has been impressed with her minutes this year. Now slashing in, wanting an option, sends it middle. Second chance towards Gutierrez, who scores! First career goal for the Guadalajara, Mexico product, Isabella Gutierrez. All gets started with Aiken, and the second opportunity in the box for Gutierrez, who steps up, and it's 2-0 East Carolina. Excellent pass there by Schnell, who's been vital in both goals tonight. And now in the 27th minute, a 2-0 lead for the Pirates. Keep in mind, this Old Dominion team, only 10 goals surrendered the entire year, including postseason play. So this is rarefied air against Angie Hines' club. Soa and Gutierrez with their first respective goals of their careers, not only the season. And after Old Dominion had all the chances in the opening 15 minutes, this game has shifted here late in the first half. Remember, the Monarchs are still in search of their first goal of the season. Team that outscored their opponents by 15 total goals last year. Now a couple of substitutes. Oh, okay, sorry. This kid is actually pretty important because I love when you get to see kids of all shapes and sizes at soccer matches. Look at that guy. And he's certainly dressed to impress. And I bet he'll be a fan favorite from both these soccer clubs after the match. Who does you not love kids in polos? Reminds me of class picture day in early August when the schools get started. A lot of the middle and elementary schools here in North Carolina are beginning this week. Schnell's been an active participant in the far corner, and she draws that corner kick. Nice effort by the sophomore out of Virginia there to draw the corner. He's a nursing major at ECU, had the assist a moment ago that teed up Gutierrez. And now a corner for the Pirates. So Sierra Lowry heads back there, the redshirt sophomore at Wake Forest. Missed all of last year due to injury, but has made her presence felt tonight. As a substitute, 10 minutes in. And the corner shoots in. Right in the middle of the box. Headed up in the air and freed. Ferguson got a noggin on it and stays with East Carolina. Schlegel. That's deflected in another corner. So 2 early corners for the Pirates. Old Dominion so defensive minded, and last year alone, this tells the story, 9 team shutouts for this Monarch defense. They've surrendered 2 tonight, a penalty kick and a second chance on a deflection. So let's see if Lowry can find a teammate inside the 18. She sends it through towards the mid post. Overshot her target in Ferguson, and now a chance to counter for Megan Watts of Old Dominion. Now Watts sends it into no man's land. So we tick under the final 15 minutes of this first half. It's been all East Carolina tonight. A 20-minute goal from Abby Soa. In the 27th minute, Isabella Gutierrez took care of business. Ooh. That was Jenna Davelier on a tough end of that header. And a yellow card is issued. So first yellow card of the match issued to Old Dominion's Andrea Balcazar Algarin out of Mexico City. There's Gary Higgins, who's seen his offense really find its rhythm. 2 goals on Thursday, 2 more tonight. Here's the true freshman, Jasmine Ferguson, who has starred defensively with her 6-foot frame. Become an instant man-marking defender for Gary Higgins on this back line. Now Torkoglu looks to counter, and she is taken. There's Brzezinski there to knock it free. Torkoglu lost it that time. And every chance for the Monarchs has been immediately snuffed out. Old Dominion, the Sun Belt favorites in the East Division, alongside James Madison and Georgia State. A couple of new programs right at the top of the Sun Belt entering the year. In the West Division, South Alabama, the reigning finalists, along with Arkansas State and Southern Miss. Well, a lot of new faces in the Sun Belt this year. It is neat, of course, in the grand scheme of things. The Sun Belt and the AAC, part of the Power 6, and maybe 2 of the best conferences to join those ranks with so much realignment in college sports this year. Brzezinski, who's been active in her minutes off the bench, sends it wide. Schnell now, who has an assist tonight, plays it ahead to Gutierrez. It's neat timing. Our production crew asked earlier tonight, we haven't seen much of Isabella Gutierrez. Will she be a factor? And comes off the bench and scores in the 27th minute. So producer Kyle speaking it into existence tonight alongside our hardworking crew here on ESPN Plus. There's a long through ball by Lindsay Aiken. And quickly played free by Danae Harper.
Now entering the pitch for the Monarchs, number 20, Reagan Tate. And for the Pirates, number 3, Samantha Moxie.
Substitutes for both squads here in the final 12 minutes. So those two will take a breather here to close out the half. Schlegel and Harper. And the newly inserted Samantha Moxie. Here's the scoring summary. Abisola with her first career goal on the penalty shot. And then Gutierrez, the freshman, got her notice. There's a ball played in, promising. That graphic might have to be updated here in a second. A lot of chances for the Pirates recently. And a nice ball punched forward by Sierra Lowry. Ooh, collision there in the middle of the pitch with Watts. And the foul here on Old Dominion. We have a stoppage in play and a yellow card. Okay, so that's Carla Morich called for the yellow.
Yellow card on number 11 for the Monarchs, Carla Morich.
We'll take a look at this roughhousing just a bit. I think this is more our lead referee, Bill Dittmar, trying to maintain play. A long ball for Moxie, who heads it forward, and she came out with a nice opportunity for the sophomore from Edison, New Jersey. She had 2 goals last season and put a nice ball on target. That's now 4 saves for Jones. She has been tested in this first half. Maeve English, who has faced 1 shot on the East Carolina side. That was in the first 5 minutes right at her. You see Moxie there coming in. Last year as a freshman, fantastic. 4 assists. Oh, that might be a card as well. Okay, so yellow cards issued aplenty tonight. Paint it yellow here in Greenville. The saying is more paint it gold, but you get the point. Let's confirm who that yellow card is on here. Okay, it is on Moxie, sticking out her leg. You just want to be careful if you're both teams to avoid ticky-tack yellow cards and then getting ejected later in the match. A long ball for Gutierrez, who looks to turn and nicely shielded off. That's the defensive effort of Jenna Davelier, who was a 2-time team captain and state champion in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Now entering the pitch for the Monarchs, number 17, Malia Mariano.
So for good measure, one more substitute. Malia Mariano out of Norfolk, Virginia, the homegrown product. Mechanical engineer and a great engineering program at Old Dominion. Which, when you say, okay, the team has a 3.5 GPA and you factor the amount of engineering and science majors mixed in, that's not just your old run-of-the-mill class, if you know what I'm saying. You have to earn the GPAs in those programs. I speak that as a journalism major myself, so it's not very academically rigorous on my side, but credit these ladies out there. There's a scoop for Aaron Jones. Final 9 minutes of this first half. Soa and Gutierrez, the 2 goals for the Pirates early. And now play forward. But nowhere to go for the newly inserted substitute, Balcazar Algarin. And a throw-in awarded. Impactful minutes for Lindsay Aiken tonight, who's been a part of the goal scoring efforts early. Wasn't credited in assist, but had the hockey-like assist on that second goal. Think about this. East Carolina, no goals in its first 2 matches. Well, 4 in the blink of an eye all this week. Gary Higgins joked he would jump up into the arms of his assistants and celebrate what he calls the greatest moment in the sport, a goal-scoring opportunity. And that's what East Carolina has done twice. He noted it's the brilliance of the game of international football and soccer in this state, but when those goals happen so difficult, you have to celebrate by any means. And his team has been itching for goals this year. Same can be said of the reigning CUSA champions, Old Dominion, yet to score in 3 matches. Morich playing on the yellow card, looks to settle. And that ball sent forward towards Balcazar Alcarin. That's wisely kept in. The Monarchs swinging in the middle. And immediately booting it away is Annabelle Abbott. You see the adjustments from lead assistant coach Michelle Barr, the associate head for Old Dominion. Her staff with Angie Hine, they've worked together for 9 years. Guided 7 winning seasons in that mark, and now a loose ball as Schnell comes forward and Jones there to poke it free. That could be extremely dangerous. Morich. Nice through ball, searching for Dave Lear. Gets into the box. And not much on that opportunity. Gutierrez draws the East Carolina throw. Pirates 7 shots on target in this first half to just 1 for Old Dominion. And a rolling ball played forward to Aiken. Both teams willing to go to their bench. 5 substitutes in the first half. And you wonder early in the year with these Thursday, Sunday schedules how they would manage the minutes for their starters. Nice hustle there by Aiken to keep it in play. Here comes Moxie storming in as she runs right into her defender, Reagan Tate. Now Tate gets possession back, and she sends it long. His team is trying to replicate what Florida State accomplished a year ago, a national championship, defeating BYU in the finals. Tournament heads to Cary, North Carolina again this year for a 2-year stint, so right back in the Carolinas. Old Dominion very familiar with tournament play, lost in the first round to Duke just last year as Morich rolls one towards goal. And a wise play by Maeve English to jump on top. Carla Morich, the leading returning goal scorer for the Monarchs. 5 goals, 6 assists just last year. All CUSA, but this season not as much statistically. In terms of her work rate, it remains high in the eyes of Angie Hine. Just hasn't found the back of the net, and that's been the trouble for the Monarchs this year. 0 goals in now 3 matches. Look at this run by Schnell. She plays it middle and overshoots her target in Abbott. Gutierrez wins the foot race, but can't keep it in. And now we have a foul called. So an interesting angle here on the free kick for East Carolina. Erin Jones has been tested heavily in this match. The transfer from Liberty, her third start. I think there's some confusion here as we stop the clock with 2:54. Okay, so East Carolina now has to head to its bench, I believe, to grab something out of the medical bag. Okay, so Lindsay Aiken has to tape her shin guard together. That was starting to come off. Okay. So Aiken's good to return. You see her strapping that thing on last minute. Whoop. Now I'm cleared to enter. Nope, not just yet. And we'll wait. She can enter on first touch. So all that being said, Sierra Lowry to send it in. Looks to the back post. Jones rises and secures the save. The 5'11" Erin Jones leaps just in front of Abby Soa there, who is searching for her second career goal. Maybe the last pressing moment for Old Dominion. 2.5 to play. The Monarchs have one shot on target. That was in the first 5 minutes. Arndt sends it outside, looking for Balcazar Alcarin, who keeps it in play. And not much on that. Dave Lear with the touch, and Schnell possesses. Now wanting to run out the final 2 minutes of this clock. Kennett chips it forward. Watts collides with her own teammate. Ooh, this does not look good. Balcazar Alcarin is down. The athletic trainer, Rochelle Bowman, heads out. And these are not the moments you want to see. Hope she's all right. So as they treat Balcazar Alcarin, we'll hope she's okay and show you how this all happened. Ooh. Thankfully, Andrea gets back to her feet. She was a bit shaken up. You see Angie Hind there, ninth-year head coach, bringing in her substitutes late in the half. Angie was a former assistant coach for the Scottish national team, and following a 5-year tenure at Dartmouth, she has done wonders at Old Dominion in 9 years. She knows how to recruit highly academic and gifted players, but I think the kids are getting a bit restless here late in the half. Ooh, Skittles. Man, Skittles and peanuts, and that's how you do it. As Old Dominion has the final minute and 40 seconds to gather up its offense.
Now entering the pitch for the Monarchs, number 25, India Hunter.
You hear India Hunter substitute in. That'll give Madison Micheletti the breather. Hunter, the senior out of Suffolk, Virginia. Nice touch here by the Monarchs. Searching to weave through is Talia Morrissey. And a foul here on East Carolina with 1:05 to go.
1 minute remaining in the half. 1 minute.
Final minute of this half. Reagan Tate to send this ball in. Maybe the last chance of the half for Old Dominion. Tate sends it in. Looking towards the back post. English rises and secures it. Big time stop for the junior keeper. Maybe the best and last chance of the half for Old Dominion. One shot on target against this East Carolina defense, as Hunter forces the boom kick by English. A half that changed very quickly in the 20th minute on a penalty kick.
5, 4,
And now the final seconds tick off the first half as East Carolina heads to the halftime break with a 2-0 lead over Old Dominion. Very offensive-minded first half on this humid Sunday night. It's a 2-0 start for the Pirates, who lead at home on ESPN+.
Welcome into the American Studios. I'm Morgan Uber. Head coach Gary Higgins is in his first season leading the East Carolina women's soccer program. Before the season, we sat down with him to get an in-depth look at the state of the Pirates program.
Yeah, my name's Gary Higgins. I'm only been in the job here at East Carolina for about 5 months now, so extremely excited to be part of Pirate Nation. Instantly, my first training session and my first meeting with the team, I realised I had a competitive group. I don't think we have to rock the boat too much and we don't have to shake things up too much, but I would like to obviously add my own principles and my own certain aspects of a college program. I would like to add some things to it and hopefully take us 1 or 2 steps further and eventually compete for American Conference Championships and to play in the NCAA tournament and give our players that opportunity, because there's nothing quite like it. So when you look at our team, we've got still quite a young team with players who have got like 3 years of eligibility left across the board. So that's all valuable experience that they've had in the last couple of years, and we're going to use that. That's part of the college journey for every student athlete, is you have to use that valuable experience in your first year. And if you're getting wins against like ranked teams and you're getting into the conference tournament, that's all exciting to me. First and foremost, we're going to be a passionate team, so we are going to be full of passion in all aspects of soccer. So from a defensive standpoint, we want to be as organised and as disciplined as possible. Long term, I would love to play an attractive style of soccer in terms of building out the back, having good build-up phases throughout the field, and then obviously scoring goals. Everything that you do is to give yourself as many quality chances in front of goal. But whether it's on the offensive side or the defensive side of the ball, if you don't have passion, like, in my opinion, what's the point? Like, what's the point of playing sport or soccer? Like, you have to be passionate about it. You have to love it. If someone comes and watches us play, I will guarantee that will be the case. Go Pirates.
Thanks to Coach Higgins for joining us. We'll have first half highlights and stats coming up right after this. Stay with us here on ESPN+.
Welcome back to Johnson Stadium here in Greenville, North Carolina. Quick start for the East Carolina Pirates offense. 2 goals in the first half and holding Old Dominion with just 1 shot on target in the first 45 minutes. Let's show you how we got to this point, because clearly the first goal was highly contested. Opportunities early for Old Dominion. This is the lone shot that really challenged Maeve English by any stretch of the imagination. And then as the first half continued, some long distance back and forth play from Schlegel. There was Annabelle Abbott with a nice opportunity, and when you have 5 shots on target, Aaron Jones was very busy between the pipes. But this is what changed the match. In the 20th minute, Terefenko's call for the penalty in the box. And then guess who? It's Abby Soa, unfamiliar to that territory. Her first penalty kick, and she knocks it in for the second-year striker. So that made it 1-0. We move forward about 7 minutes. Here's a doink and a dink and a dunk. Isabella Gutierrez with her first career goal. Beautiful pass from Schlegel there to set it up, and then Schnell got the assist. So that's the scoring of the first half. A couple of chances late for both teams on headers. Moxie put one on target, and she checked in with about 20 minutes to go. And then here's the real final chance for Old Dominion. Maeve English climbs the ladder. Ooh, a little collision there. A lot of bumping and bruising for headers tonight. Here's your first half stats. I think the big key is shots on target, and 5 for East Carolina. A lot of chances against Aaron Jones. Maeve English relatively unscathed in the first 45 minutes. These teams split in the regular season last year. A little different story. The first and only meeting tonight between Old Dominion and East Carolina. We'll take a timeout, get you all set with what's cooking around the American Athletic Conference here on a warm and toasty night in North Carolina when we come back. Welcome back to Greenville, North Carolina. Intrastate matchup, Old Dominion and East Carolina. A couple of goals early for the Pirates. That's been the difference in this first half. And East Carolina, the home squad, will focus on the American Athletic Conference for the moment. The big picture here at halftime, because as we told you coming in, 2 quality squads. And here's what both teams have coming up with their schedules. And it's always unique early in the season because it's a mix of midweeks and non-conference games. And Old Dominion, they'll have a tough slate coming up against Virginia Tech, September 1st. That's a big home matchup in the Commonwealth rivalry, and then it's all in-state for at least the next week. Longwood out of the Big South and Richmond on September 1st. Then American followed up by Louisiana, a reigning NCAA tournament team. That's down in Louisiana. And for East Carolina, they've had a home-heavy schedule early. It is road cooking the next couple of weeks at UNCW, at VCU, and then at George Mason. And the next home matchup, you can watch that game on ESPN Plus versus Florida on 9/11. And then the start of AAC conference play at nationally ranked SMU, along with USF and Memphis, three of the favorites in the leagues. That's a busy couple of weeks for these two. And we told you about the AAC. Here's what's cooking. Courtney Sabasco is the offensive player of the week. She had a big goal against Rice in the final minutes. And I tell you what, SMU RPI right now of 23. That's a really good squad. Caroline Delisle of UCF, big game against nationally ranked Florida with a 3-0 win. And UCF is getting some national votes as well. So I wouldn't sleep on the Knights. And Cincinnati with Ashley Barron having a really good defensive matchup. So we look at the national polls in the American Athletic Conference. SMU and UCF both getting votes in top 25 position. It'll be neat this year. Could a multi-bid league return? That was the case last year with USF and Memphis. But if more than two teams could join, that would be a major move for the American Conference. By the way, I love the support of the fans there hanging over. Here's what's going on in the conference today on the scoreboard. Big win for Tulsa over Missouri State, a 3-2 final. There was a game winner in the last 10 minutes for Tulsa to overcome a possible draw. UCF dominated Florida Gulf Coast at home with a 3-1 win. And then Houston takes down Sam Houston State 2-1. They have a scoreless draw at halftime in South Florida outside of Tampa, and then Cincinnati and Murray State. Overall, when you look at the RPIs, SMU, USF, Houston, some of the better teams, and this could be a very deep league in the American Athletic Conference this year. We'll take our final timeout and get you set for the second half. A lot of nuggets we just threw at you, and now we'll get back to the football itself when we return from Greenville, North Carolina. Welcome back to Greenville, North Carolina. We are ready to get the second half started. East Carolina with 2 early goals in the first 30 minutes. Old Dominion yet to score a goal in 2022. They want to change that in this second half. 25th all-time meeting. They split the series last year, home and home, on each other's home turf. Now it's the home team tonight. East Carolina led by goals from Abby Soa and Isabella Gutierrez. What's really impressed me tonight is the defense of the Pirates, limiting this Old Dominion squad you see here, the reigning Conference USA champs, to only 1 shot on target. Now, if there's something to note from last year, Old Dominion scored 17 of its 25 goals in the second half. So a club that has certainly found a way to score late in games. We'll need more than just 1 tonight. With a good crowd and weather finally cooling down a bit here in Greenville, we begin the second half. As the teams trade side, this will be a test. And Old Dominion maintained possession. They were so quality in the first 10 minutes. But that penalty in the box for Emma Terafenko really changed things. An East Carolina squad that not only scored 2 goals on Thursday, but one was extremely early in the 10th minute, and that put the game out of reach. They held the Panthers to 1 shot on target, much the same today, and 2 goals in the first 27 minutes on that similar tenor. Reagan Tate knocks that out for an East Carolina throw. Oh yes, the weather has cooperated. It's dropped a couple of degrees from opening kick. In that first half, we were nearing 90, and it was hot and sticky. A little more kind as we dip into the 6 o'clock window. Here's a chance for Schlehl, who fires and scores! Sydney Schnell with the opportunity. And right at the start of the second half, East Carolina with a 3-0 lead. Well, loose ball in the box, and Schnell takes advantage over the mitts of Jones. And we talked about who could strike early. It's East Carolina on this loose ball in the box. Upper corner, that is pretty. Well, the weather's cooled down, but the goal scoring has picked up for ECU. That's the sophomore out of Virginia, who has not been a big goal scorer in her career. She was 3 matches, injured in early October of last season, but Schnell has been a factor. More possession up top for Parker. Carson has numbers to her left. Great feed. Back to Parker. Has an option wide right. Shoots for goal and deflected. And Terafenko there to knock it loose. She had the running Gutierrez and elected to swing it in. Aiken bodies it down. Look at the possession here from Gary Higgins' club. Now Schlegel. Nicely dispossessed and freed away from the Old Dominion defense. So that's in the 47th minute, the goal by Sydney Schnell. And how things can change quickly in the blink of an eye. Old Dominion surrendered 10 goals all year in 2021. A little different story tonight. That's blocked down by Holbrook, who sends it in. Schlegel wants to turn back to Holbrook. Now inside the 18. Holbrook turns. She lets it go over goal and deflected free. Now playing patty cake in the box. That's dangerous for Old Dominion. And finally, Turkorgalu gets it out. Boy, Angie Hind holding her breath in the Old Dominion coach's box. Her defense is unwinded as Moritz knocks it out. You see the Old Dominion coaching staff coming off a 13-win campaign. Defense was so vital, 9 shutouts. Old Dominion did return its entire back line, but a little different in the midfield this year, graduating top defensive midfielder and all-conference Emily Roberts. That's been a hard responsibility. It's hard not to hit the panic button. Just 3 matches in, you see a exuberant East Carolina bench. Goals from Soa, Gutierrez, and now Schnell. Korgaloo gets out of the pressure and finds Kennett. Little one-on-one joust in the corner, and that results in a throw. Sydney Schnell has been very active. We saw her score that goal just a few minutes prior. An attacking midfielder who Coach Gary Higgins said could be the lifeblood of this team if she continues this torrid stretch. Just played 83 minutes on Thursday and looks very active tonight. There's a long ball sent towards the box and an easy play for English, who lets it go to her feet. It always makes me chuckle. I saw a game earlier today. Citadel and Gardner-Webb, the keeper, tried the same thing and then lost the ball. And the Big South Attacking Player of the Year for Gardner-Webb was able to score the game winner, 1-0. Have to be wise in those positions as a goalkeeper. And Maeve English in 33 starts. You see a little pushing and shoving here on the near line. The throw in for Old Dominion. Terefenko's big penalty committed in the 20th minute changed this match. Allowed for Soa to attempt the penalty kick, and that made it 1-0. And as Korgaloo's pass is bounced away. Nice ball sent forward by Schlegel. She's assisted one, has been part of an assist, that hockey assist on the second goal. And very active at that right midfield position. Part of more of a 4-4-3 lineup with those attacking midfielders like Schnell coming forward, looking to turn inside the 18. She's poked loose and results in a corner. How about the presence of Sydney Schnell tonight? The nursing major had her first career assist last year. Not a goal scorer by any means, but has picked that up big time tonight. A goal and an assist in 50 minutes. And now Sierra Lowry in for the corner. Lowry wants to build on a 3-0 lead as she sends it short. Headed along and knocked down in front of the box. Great defense by Old Dominion. Christook saves the goal. And a collision. Boy, bodies down everywhere. Christook with the advantage. Yulia wants numbers, plays it wide. Now a chance for Old Dominion to counter with a man down for ECU. And I believe play will stop here for the injury. So Gutierrez slowly getting back to her feet. Big collision there outside the box. So following the shot, yeah, just a little incidental contact there with Morich. Veteran Macy McDougall searching for an explanation there, the captain. Well, looks like ECU's not afraid to push forward as Gutierrez wants to be the beneficiary of that header, and it's booted away by Jones. A little more intensity here in this second half, as Old Dominion does not win possession. There's a foul on the ball. A real chance to turn a goal for Jenna Davelier, the two-time All-State honoree at Lampeter Strasburg High School in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Part of a very diverse roster. double-digit states and 5 different countries for Angie Hines' club. She calls it a melting pot. A very academically rigorous institution in Old Dominion. GPAs are preached day in and day out, a 3.5 team GPA. Terefenko evades the pressure and sends it long. As Gutierrez will take a breather here on this substitution. Well, look, that girl's using binoculars. I wonder who she sees. I think she just found the new substitute, Annabelle Abbott, return to the match. There's Gutierrez coming off. I love the picture-in-picture by our crew. So we go from binoculars of a young girl in the stands to a nice close-up shot of a substitute. That's great work here on ESPN+. Evan Budjevich here with our crew, getting you the sights and sounds from Greenville, North Carolina. 3 early goals for ECU as Schlegel looks to add to that total. And is mirrored off by a triplet of defenders. Holbrook heads towards the 18 and draws the corner. Fourth corner kick for East Carolina. And more kids in attendance today. I love it. Temperatures finally dripping down to the low 80s. All in support of head coach Gary Higgins, who earned his first career victory here at East Carolina on Thursday. Lowry to send it in. Goes back post. Jones rises and punches loose. There's a shot that's deflected. And Turkoroglu sends it free. East Carolina, however, keeps possession. Chances aplenty. The size of Ferguson waiting for it in the box. Schnell sends it wide. Outside the 18, deflected for a corner. And the defense of Dave Lear gives up the 5th corner kick for East Carolina. In the first half, East Carolina had 60% of the possession in the offensive end, forcing Old Dominion on the defensive side for much of the half. And that continues to be a factor here in the second half. Here's Lowry to send in the corner. She goes middle, knocked down, and just wide. Promising header into the box.
Now entering the pitch for the Monarchs, number 23, Vanessa Arndt.
Aaron Jones has been tested aplenty. 7 saves, surrendering 3 goals now. The penalty kick, not her fault, but certainly a busy night for the Liberty transfer. Liberty, by the way, is having its way with Campbell University tonight. A 4-0 lead in the second half of that matchup. Former Big South foes. These two out of the CAA and the American Athletic Conference. First year, or pardon me, in the Sun Belt for Old Dominion. First year in the Sun Belt. Former CUSA member. Here's a long ball searching for Schnell. And wisely defended by Dave Lear. Well, not the hedges of Athens, Georgia. Those balls can get snuck behind the hedges there. So McDougal asks for a new one. And the op staff has to run all the way around the hedges, down the path, and find a new one as the Old Dominion coaching staff issuing its orders defensively. Most goals allowed this year by the Monarchs. Had surrendered just 2 goals in the first 2 matches, and 3 given up tonight. To Abisoa in the 20th minute, Gutierrez in the 27th, and Schnell in the 47th minute. A test here for English, who sends it wide of Morich. Good header by Schlegel. Boy, she can fly into the air. Holbrook banging bodies and giving Old Dominion the throw. The last meeting was a 1-0 victory for Old Dominion. Emma Gervais with the game winner in extra time. East Carolina, the victory here at home in its matchup, 1-0. Brooke Brzezinski with the winner. A little different story tonight. It's that pass ill-intended for Christuk. English rolls one into the ground. Christuk waiting in the wings of Sierra Lowry, who plays it out of her own end and sends it long. We had asked both coaches with temperatures in the mid-80s tonight how these teams would handle the fatigue of the second half coming off a back end of a Thursday-Sunday matchup. And both staffs said they wanted to utilize their benches, and we've seen each go with 5 substitutes. Old Dominion now with 7 substitutes. They've been ill-afraid to go to the bench. As here's Dave Lear. Promising run, filters it in, shot on target, and that's high. Just above the crossbar. Carla Moritz draws the goal kick with the first quality chance for Old Dominion.
Number 25, India Hunter.
Those are the type of chances that Old Dominion will need tonight. As India Hunter steps back in. Moritz, the top goal scorer from last year, into the construction zone, but certainly a quality chance. Now Hunter on the attacking foot forward. Plays it down to Torslew. On a Torslew, the senior from Copenhagen, Denmark. As we have a foul here on Hunter, stepping over one of the East Carolina players, Sierra Lowry. What a beautiful sunset tonight. Really paints the picture of a intra-conference matchup out of the Sun Belt and the American Athletic. 2 of the surging conferences, both in the top 7 in RPI last year. Everyone chasing the ACC as the best RPI-rated conference, and that has kind of played true in the regular season rankings. Florida State and North Carolina, number 1 and 2 in the latest women's soccer coaches poll. New polls come out every Monday night, Tuesday morning, so we'll have updated rankings in just a couple of days. Holbrook shoots it wide to Schlegel, who has an assist tonight. Holly looks for support. Here's Aiken. That's a promising ball in and headed wide. A goal kick awarded. So wanting to connect with Carson Parker, graduate senior. Carson pursuing her master's in public health. Played in just 1 match last year before injury, and that was in this Old Dominion matchup. So the redshirt senior in her grad year looking to finish out strong and wins possession. Numbers here for Abbott. Annabelle dancing her way inside. Finds Parker. Parker outside the 18, chips it to Holbrook, who looks for goal and shoots high. Well, how about that creativity from 20 yards out?
Now entering the pitch for the Monarchs, number 2, Ryan. And for the Pirates, number 13.
What a great angle here for Holbrook. Not too shabby. So that's a combined 13 shots. Only 7 on target, but highly effective for Gary Higgins' club. Hunter on a 1-touch. Finds her counterpart in Christuk. Sends it towards the box. Dominion desperate for possession on the offensive end. Christuk slows down and taken away by Holbrook. Ryan Parncutt, number 2 for Old Dominion, the junior out of Abingdon, Maryland, has checked in on that offensive side. She'll play more of an attacking defensive role in that 4-defender line. Try to push forward for some attacking numbers. Parker wins the throw. And that's touched forward. Here's Turkorgalu with numbers. And not much on that pass, a bit light on the weight. Brzezinski going one-on-one with Arndt, the all-conference defender who shoots it wide. Anissa Arndt out of Cary, North Carolina. Has had a great offseason in the eyes of her head coach, Angie Hind. Started 12 matches last year and has become a solidifying piece of this midfield. So East Carolina to throw outside the 18 as Parker turns, plays it back, and on a slip, that'll go out of play. The home crowd engaged in the final 27 minutes of this home affair. Think about the schedule for East Carolina so far. NCAA tournament teams of High Point, South Carolina, and Duke in the first 2 weeks, and the scoring has picked up. Soa, Gutierrez, and Schnell all with firsts. A couple of career goals as well tonight in the first 50 minutes. Reagan Tate looks for goal, and that's ill-advised, a bit strong from Tate. The Virginia Beach, Virginia product. Been a pretty easy night for Maeve English working in the posts. One shot on target, couple of free kicks her way as well, but not much in her eyes. And you can tell it's hot. Carson Parker trying to cool down a toasty 85-degree night. And a throw in for East Carolina, who will gear up for a road trip at UNC Wilmington, at VCU in the next week before hosting Florida on September 11th. And to think conference play is right around the corner for both these squads. The weekend of September 15th is when conference play begins. Old Dominion, the favorites of the East Division in the Sun Belt. East Carolina looking to rise above its preseason rankings in the bottom third of the AAC, but hard to tell the way they're playing tonight if that will continue as a trend. Coaches' polls, of course, are always hard to tell early in the year with a team of so many new pieces. But I think we've seen, at least in this week alone, how dangerous East Carolina can be defensively, limiting opportunities, and that could be huge for Coach Gary Higgins, who prides his team on defense. Coming by way of a national Final Four team at Lenore-Ryan across the state just last year. The Division II ranks. Carson Parker trying to play it forward, and she lost it. Dangerous touch with Hunter and Soa. And that's won by the Monarchs. That ball's left in no man's land and now sent back to midfield. Tate plays it forward. Brzezinski lost it, and now it's back to the attacking defender in Parncut. Looks for relief, and Turkorgalu, the multi-year starter at midfield. Lacking possession. Old Dominion has been desperate for anything inside the 18. All of its shots have been from distance tonight, as Hunter may have a chance here. India turns for goal. Brzezinski shields her off and takes it away. Old Dominion trying to dethrone South Alabama, the reigning champions of the Sun Belt. First year in the league for multiple programs. James Madison and Old Dominion, two of the big ones in terms of conference favorites. It's been South Alabama and Arkansas State trading titles the last 3 years in the Sun Belt. Highly competitive league. Top 10 RPI in the women's soccer ranks. Same can be said of the AAC. Two tournament teams from a year ago, South Florida and Memphis. And right now UCF and SMU getting national votes. That ball to no man's land for Maeve English. Plays a little tight end there to make the catch. I want to thank the SIDs for both schools, Cole Barnhill of East Carolina and Jim Heath of Old Dominion, for providing some neat nuggets and facts and setting up these phone calls throughout the week. It can be a busy time in the college sports season. So thanks to them for helping us get prepared for this matchup, as there's a foul on Carson Parker. Old Dominion still searching for that elusive first goal of the 22 campaign, in danger of dropping to 0-3 in this new year. East Carolina with a most likely win tonight. We'll get back to a second win and even up the column at 2-2. Now we have a flurry of substitutions with 21 minutes to go. Starters return with Morich and Friedrich. First minutes for Talia Morrissey of the second half. She's in the white headband right there. And Grace Doran re-enters for East Carolina. There's Morich, the top striker for the Monarchs. 6 substitutes in all between the two, so we'll keep you updated as time goes on. Only 4 players for East Carolina have logged all 70 minutes so far, mostly on the defensive end, as that header by Hunter heads towards Maeve English. Old Dominion now has had 8 different substitutes enter this match, not afraid to extend the bench of Angie Hind in year 9. She rests on 13 wins last year and a CUSA Coach of the Year honors. Some of these initials early in the year can get you tangled up. New member of the Sun Belt and a decade-long member of the American Athletic Conference. Tussling it out tonight on a hot and humid Sunday evening in Greenville, North Carolina. Ooh, through the wickets. Nice move here to create some open space. And Jones forced to send it long as Taylor Kibble was looking for a couple of treats herself. I apologize for any poor puns tonight. I like to mix them in from time to time. So under 20 minutes to play in what's been a dominant East Carolina performance. Holbrook sends it towards the box. And now Morrissey has lost it. Holbrook looks wide and sends it back. Doran splits 2 and is dispossessed. And numbers here for Morrissey. Has Hunter in front of her. Look at the retreating defense of ECU as the ball's won and played forward. On a touch, Morrissey turns, but sends it to the wrong color. Here's Watts. Megan Watts with a burst of speed to the 18. Shoots it into Hunter, and there's English to jump on top of the best chance of the second half. Maeve English searching for her 6th career shutout. Has not been tested heavily, but has done her part. Grew up right here in Greenville at D.H. Connolly. We saw her parents a bunch on the broadcast with the big signs rooting on English in this East Carolina defense, who have pitched a shutout on Thursday and yet to allow much on target tonight. We have an offside flag called against the Monarchs. There's Danae Harper, 15 in the blue for Old Dominion. She played over 50 minutes a match in the Conference USA tournament and the NCAAs against Duke. What Coach Angie Hind calls a skillful midfielder for our team, and a defender at that, needing her crafty minutes. Replacing an all-conference defender in Emily Roberts. It's a hard loss for any team, especially as a senior who graduates. It opens up the back line. Forward Megan Hall, midfielder Emma Gervais also by way of graduation. So a team that loses critical pieces across the board. Kibble pressures. Ooh, forces a quick clearance there. So Harper being tested. Here's a long ball, but overshot. Parncut. And she's undercut by the paper cut. That is Brooke Brzezinski. Nice through ball. That's shot up into the air by Ferguson. Ball one on the ground here for Old Dominion, and Frederick. Old Dominion sending numbers forward with Arndt. Hunter slides and knocks it loose. As Parncut sends it wide. Old Dominion wanting to counter, down 3 inside the 18. A chip, and English lets it roll out. We will take our final water break of this second half and come back in just a minute to close out the final 16. Fans checking out their phones, hopefully watch this on ESPN Plus in this 3-0 game. Welcome back. Cleared from our water intermission. All East Carolina tonight on the attacking end. Abby Soa, Isabella Gutierrez, and Sydney Schnell with the 3 goals for the Pirates thus far. Old Dominion still searching for its first goal of the season. A club that has lost at Auburn, at William & Mary, and possibly tonight at East Carolina. But a busy week for the Monarchs. They'll host Virginia Tech, an in-state foe. Wow, look at Riley Kennett. She looks like she got dumped by a bucket of water. That's one way to keep yourself cool on a sticky night. Kennett from Toms River, New Jersey. And Maeve English has been excellent on the back line for East Carolina as we hit the 16-minute mark. A corner kick has been awarded to the Monarchs as we come out of this timeout. Only 1 shot on target for Old Dominion. And now Reagan Tate to send it in. Tate on the corner. Looks mid-post. Punched up. English falls down. Here's a shot deflected. Second ball chipped in and cleared. Abby Soa there to knock it loose. As Old Dominion pushes bodies forward. Back out to Tate. She lets it fly. On the ground for Morrissey. Purnell is dispossessed. And East Carolina escapes the threat. Possibly with numbers here as Schnell dances in the moonlight. This ball will stay onside. Tate in a race. And she's able to beat out McKenna Gregory, the true freshman from Jacksonville, Florida. Have to go deep into the roster sheets today. Both teams bringing on some substitutes early. Morrissey plays it at her feet. Old Dominion with that 1 shot on target. It was back in the opening 10 minutes A long ball outside the 18, but not much in the box for Maeve English. Ooh, nice ball played forward here by Harper. The Pirates have answered every offensive possession for Old Dominion. Kibble now into open space, beats Harper towards the box. Kibble gets into the 18 and earns a corner. Reagan Tate slow to get up. It has been a hot and humid night. A lot of minutes for Tate. She's played 45 and now asking for help. So here's what's coming up this week on the campus of East Carolina following tonight's match. A lot of teams on the road, but the big one here in Greenville is the nationally televised football opener. NC State, one of the preseason favorites in the ACC, take on upstart East Carolina, trying to play spoiler here in Greenville. That will be an entertaining Saturday. And meanwhile, for East Carolina, they will be on the road the next 3 matches, but back at home on 9/11, taking on Florida out of the SEC. And certainly a couple of busy weeks for both programs here in Greenville. We told you about Old Dominion. They'll head to host Virginia Tech as Gary Higgins wants a productive week of wins. Thursday night over High Point, and here tonight a convincing lead and possible victory over Old Dominion. 2 tournament wins against former NCAA teams. Angie Hind on the counter end. She's on the right talking to her lead assistant, Michelle Barr, in the middle. And her second assistant, Sam Kirschenbaum, searching for answers. She has described it as a slow start, not just by the lack of goals, but her team yet to find that cohesiveness as a starting 11. Gearing up for the start of Sunbelt play on September 16th at Louisiana Lafayette. Remember, a corner kick was awarded here before the brief injury. So Jenna Davelier will return. And now a corner for the Pirates, leading by 3 as Sierra Lowry will play this short. Brzezinski wants to turn. Lowry trapped and sends it wide. Brzezinski turns the corner. Beats Hunter, now to the line. Sends it into the box. Touchdown. Turns and loose. Second chance deflected. Soa. And a third ball still alive in the box. Schnell, fresh off her goal tonight. Looks to escape 2, and she does. Triple team to Schnell. Fighting for every inch, and Old Dominion sends it wide. Now that's a quality offensive possession. No shot on target, but the ability to keep the ball of Sydney Schnell, something fun to watch for the sophomore. Schnell scored in the 47th minute. That really put this match out of reach. That was early in the second half. Here's Schnell again, inching closer to the 18. Schnell sends it through. Wanting Kibble and shot it long. Ooh, look at the speed here. Oh, the effort. And watch out for that fence. And coming in from 0 to 60 real quick. Nice effort from Lindsay Aiken, the sophomore. You can tell it's hot and humid tonight. These girls' jerseys are all sticky. Plenty of sweat, plenty of Gatorade baths, you name it, during these hydration breaks. Ooh. Might hurt in the morning for Grace Doran as Brzezinski knocks it down and looks wide for Kibble, who keeps it in play. Can Old Dominion find its first goal of the season? Micheletti on the turn, goes wide to Morrissey. Plays it into space. Here's Dave Lear. Jenna Davler with a nice cut back in. Nearing the 12-minute mark, Morrissey shoots, Hunter knocks it down, and a collision. Oop. Head referee lets him play, Bill Dittmar. Ooh. Okay, play continues. Sort of like the lead referee here letting him play with 11:40 to go. No reason to break up the match. Already 3 yellow cards issued tonight. Nothing ill-harmed there as Morrissey gets possession. Possible chance here against the back line of East Carolina. Morrissey shoots it out for Hunter. India swings it in on a deflection. Ooh, okay. Play will continue. You can tell these teams are exhausted with 11 minutes to go. There's a wicked white foot and a bit wide. Caroline Frederick, the freshman from Berlin, Germany, let that one swing out of play. So the captain made English to send it out of her own end. Searching for a 6th career shutout. This play gets a little chippy here in Greenville late. Danae Harper looks back to her keeper Aaron Jones, who surrendered 3 tonight. 2 of her own accord and 1 on a penalty kick. Those are always tough to stop with the 20th minute penalty on Terefenko. East Carolina, who has been stout defensively, searching for back-to-back shutouts on the week. And that'll help the cause. Cleared away. A possible handball, which is now called. And Old Dominion will waste no time setting up this free kick. That was on Grace Doran. You see her there with the handball, the redshirt senior from Mississippi State. So Morich, who led this team in goals and assists last year for Old Dominion, would love her first points of 2022. Morich sends it in right at English. And a ball on target for the stout junior keeper. That's been the issue for Old Dominion tonight. Plenty of chances, but everything has been right at the keeper and no one there to head it in or a second chance at that.
Now entering the pitch for the
As Grace Doran will check out for the final time tonight. Brzezinski will exit. And Abbott and Molly Thomas, the sophomore out of Pennsylvania, comes in. There's Abbott, who played 65 minutes on Thursday. She'll close out the final 8 tonight. So Kibble wins possession. Looks to dribble through the heart of the defense and is dispossessed. Morrissey. Look at the high pressure here from Abbott. And East Carolina wins it back. A little tackle in the middle of the field and play continues. Advantage. And now a yellow card. So after a fair share of fighting outside the midline, I think our head referee keeping play even here with Bill Dittmar calling it on Terefenko. It's the 4th yellow card of the match. At some point, you do have to put your whistle down and keep play at ease. So a free kick here for East Carolina. This is right on target. And an easy play for the starting keeper, Aaron Jones. Old Dominion still searching for that elusive first goal of the campaign. Morich turns. Carla Morich has been marked all day long by Lindsay Aiken and no real space to operate. Hunter with a nice touch outside, but that goes out of play. She wanted the foul there on the freshman Ferguson, who was really impressed Coach Gary Higgins. 16 in the white, Jasmine Ferguson. Really impressed us against South Carolina in his eyes, and has made life tough for that keeper right there, Aaron Jones. And we have a touch foul here on Terefenko. Has to be smart playing with that yellow card. Gary Higgins in line for his second career win here at East Carolina. This after winning 83 matches at Lenore-Ryan as a former assistant and player before inheriting the head coach position. He played at Lenore-Ryan from 2006 to 2009. Ooh, that ball did not get out of the box as intended. And freed away by the Monarchs. Hunter chips it forward. Good header. Ferguson comes crashing in. And a bit of a helter-skelter moment at the middle of the field. Advantage for the Pirates with possession. McDougal looks for an option. Thomas kicks it out. And a foul call with 6 minutes to play. A unique free position corner, essentially, for the Pirates. Been a tough night for Emma Terefenko, the senior right back, her 29th career match. And now can Thomas, the freshly inserted substitute, find her target? She does. It's headed down. Chipped in and deflected wide on the shot from Annabelle Abbott for the goal kick.
Now entering the pitch for the Monarchs, number 9, Anna Torslu, and number 21.
So Anna Torslu re-enters for Old Dominion. That'll be the final minutes for Carla Morich, who's yet to put her impact on the stat sheet. And the first minutes of the night for Andrea Balcazar Alguerine, her first second half minutes. One of 8 substitutes for Old Dominion tonight. They have extended the bench. East Carolina subbed in 7 themselves. As to be expected on the back leg of a Thursday Sunday, this will gear you up for the start of conference play in 2 weeks for both teams. And it must be nice if you're Gary Higgins, the head man for East Carolina. 2 wins this week against NCAA tournament teams from a year ago. This one much more resounding. And a wide ball sent forward to Aiken. Nice chip into the box. That's an easy play for Jones. Well, not a shot on target. That's a promising cross in. 15 shots for the home squad tonight compared to 8 with 1 on net for Old Dominion. Little collision here as Torsluff wins it and shoots it back. English sends it into the sky as the sun sets here in Greenville. Oh boy. And the collisions continue. A little more like a WWE matchup in the final 15 minutes than a pure soccer match, but everyone looks to be all right. Just watch out for Randy Savage out there and you should be fine. Great dispossession by Schnell, who of course has a goal and an assist and has played well in that defensive midfield role. Ooh, and a chip pass goes ahead to the Pirates. McKenna Gregory, the freshman, looking for numbers and nowhere to go with 3 minutes to play. There's a through ball that might be promising. And it's sent free by Danae Harper. East Carolina gears up for a road trip at UNC Wilmington and at VCU in the next 7 days. Old Dominion will host Virginia Tech and Longwood in the next week. Both squads flip their schedules in the second month of the season, all gearing up for November. Come NCAA tournament time with the road to Cary. We hit the final 2 minutes of this second half. 2 first-half goals by Abisoa and Isabella Gutierrez. And then the quick strike in the second half for Sydney Schnell has been enough. Old Dominion desperate for its first goal of the season. There's a deflection. Micheletti plays it near side to Freidlich, and that's deflected. Pressuring moments for Old Dominion. This is chipped in. Sumter couldn't grab it. And Parncutt came up short. Here's East Carolina sending it forward. Lindsey Aiken. Harper turns to Parncutt. Soa, who had the penalty kick goal in the 20th minute, sends it long. Here's a chip in, searching for Torzloff, and overshoots her. That should wrap this up. Here in the final 60 seconds of this second half. 25th all-time meeting between the Pirates and the Monarchs. And it has been all East Carolina tonight with a resounding 3-0 lead. Morrissey with a through ball, last chance for Torzloff. And it's chipped out for an ECU throw. So in front of a nice home crowd tonight, Lindsey Aiken and Sydney Schnell have been big parts of the scoring for the Pirates. Look to move to 2-2 with back-to-back victories, all at home this week. Headed away by Ferguson. And the resounding boot back out to midfield. Headed by Gregory forward. And here's Schnell, who already has a goal and assist tonight. Schnell will work out the clock. And in the final 5 seconds, the key goal scorer and point getter for East Carolina inks out the closing seconds. Sydney Schnell and the Pirates support the home faithful. A 3-0 victory over Old Dominion to move to 2-2 on the season. We'll wrap this match up when we come back from Greenville. A 3-0 victory for the home squad tonight on ESPN+. Welcome back to Greenville, North Carolina. Another impressive performance by the home squad tonight. A 3-0 victory over Old Dominion out of the Sun Belt Conference. A truly dominant performance for head coach Gary Higgins' club. His second victory as the Pirate head man. And here's how it all shook out. And it began early in the first half. Abby Soa earns a penalty kick in the 20th minute, and she takes advantage. The sophomore steps up, made it 1-0. That was rather convincing. All the Pirates would need. But then later in the half, nice pass by Schnell here, finds Gutierrez there, and a 2-0 start. First career goal for the true freshman out of Mexico. And then in the second half, very early, Schnell gets involved herself. Beats 3, goes over the top of the keeper, and underneath the crossbar. That was pretty for a 3-0 start. That was all East Carolina needed. Outshot the Monarchs, tripled their shot totals, and you see the final score line. Maeve English with back-to-back shutouts. Only 2 shots on target in her last 2 games. Has been great in those moments. And then the goal scorers of Gutierrez and Schnell make all the difference. That'll wrap things up from Greenville, North Carolina. The East Carolina Pirates take care of business at home, and they'll prepare to face Florida on September 11th, the next home broadcast at least. For our director and producer, Kyle Gaskins, I'm Evan Budrovich saying good night from Greenville, North Carolina. Mike Miles calling up the shots, Will Bailey leading the show, and a great crew as ECU with the 3-0 win. This is a presentation of ESPN. Welcome back to Greenville, North Carolina with the victorious head coach Gary Higgins, who you mentioned this week, the elation of scoring a goal in college soccer is the greatest part about the sport. Well, 3 more goals tonight for your offense. What was the best part of seeing the ball go in the back of the net?
No, that's what it's all about at the end of the day is scoring goals, and you work extremely hard to create those chances, and when the ball hits the back of the net, like you mentioned, there's nothing quite like it. So got 3 more tonight, which was really important, and it was really cool that the 3 goal scorers, that was their first collegiate goal for all 3 of them. So, and very good goals too. So yeah, excited for the girls to have those moments and enjoy those moments.
Your team's had a rigorous non-conference schedule, 4 NCAA tournament teams to open up the year. What does it say about this week's performance to notch 2 shutouts and 2 big wins?
Yeah, I mentioned it on Thursday. That is why you test yourself against the best, because then you're playing in an intense environment and you got to be switched on for 90 minutes plus, and we done that, and I thought we imposed ourselves and played on the front foot and almost kind of like suffocated Old Dominion for the majority of the game. So, and that's a really good side, well coached, and yeah, I'm just extremely proud of my group.
We see some of the highlights from tonight's match. Isabella Gutierrez, her first goal was excellent, the celebration great, and then Schnell early in the second half really set the tone.
Yeah, Sydney's been, she's one of the fittest on the team, and she's really set the tone in terms of the way the group presses, and she doesn't give up until that final whistle blows, and we're really, really happy with her performances. And yeah, we've been waiting a long time to get Bella here. She was in the U20 World Cup with Mexico, so glad to have her back, and she had a couple of training sessions and we saw some glimpses of what she can do, and then she showed up at the right moment today.
Well, 5 goals in 2 matches. Your team's found a way to score here recently. Congratulations on the win, Coach, and a 2-win week for your program.
Thank you, appreciate it.
That's Coach Gary Higgins wrapping up an excellent week for East Carolina women's soccer as his club moves to 2-2 on the year.